for that generous introduction. Honorable President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G. Hesmundo, Honorable members of the Supreme Court, Justice Rodil Salameda, Justice Ricardo Rosario, Honorable Solicitor General Leonardo Guevara, our beloved Dean Jose Maria G. Opelenia, faculty and staff members of the Ateneo School of Law, the officials of the Ateneo Law Alumni Association, headed by its president and chairman, Attorney Teddy Cruz and Attorney Aleli Irino. The members of the jubilarian classes and all the alumni Ateneo College of Law. And before I forget, the host class invited me to be your keynote speaker tonight. My friends, good evening to you all. While we are celebrating the Blue Revelry, I've decided to entitle my speech A Revelry in Blue. But the subject is the future of lawyering and the lawyer of the future. Some 25 years ago, the Ateneo Law class of 1999, our host class tonight, chose me to be their graduation speaker. Today, the same class, hosting, as I said, tonight's Blue Revelry Homecoming, has invited me to be the keynote speaker tonight. I thank the class of 99 for this singular honor. Palakpakan natin ang host class 1999. When I spoke to them 25 years ago, I told them that they would be the first lawyers of the third millennium. And true enough, they became the first lawyers of the third millennium and of the 21st century, followed by our jubilarians, Law Class 2000. The title of my speech 25 years ago was The Sacramental Nature of the Profession of Law. Tonight, as we traverse the next 25 years of the third millennium, I'd like to deal with the future of lawyering and the lawyer of the future. The foremost authority on this interesting topic, my friends, is a fellow named Richard Susskind, and he wrote a book entitled Tomorrow's Lawyers, An Introduction to Your Future. But first, let us examine the present situation. I have my slide number 1. Peanuts. You will see Snoopy is a lawyer carrying his portfolio, and he has a client. And the client tells him, okay, attorney, let's go. And the client says, you know, attorney, it should be an easy case because I'm right and they are wrong. And she apologizes to her lawyer. I hope you don't mind an easy case. And the reply of Snoopy, attorney Snoopy, is classic. If the money is right, I can stand anything, sweetie. So that is the crux of the dilemma, a question of ethics and a question of economics. When is the money right and when is it not right? Richard Susskind says that in the coming decades, legal services will continue to be demanded increasingly. But the future clients will be asking for a lesser cost in this increasingly growing amount of legal work needed. This is the more for less phenomenon, more for less. Let us go to another slide, which is Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland held a party, a tea party, and among the guests were the Mad Hatter and the Mars Bear. You can see. And the conversation, the dialogue among the three was as follows. Next slide. The Mad Hatter tells Alice in Wonderland, would you like to have a little more tea? More tea. And Alice replies, well, I haven't had any yet, so I can't very well have more. The Mars Hare interjected, you mean you can very well take less? And the Mad Hatter added, yes, you can always take more than nothing. Lewis Carroll. And you know, Lewis Carroll is really Charles Dodson. And Charles Dodson was an eminent mathematician in Oxford. And when the Queen asked, very impressed with his Alice in Wonderland, asked Charles Dodson to please send me your next book. And the next book that came was a book on the parabola and the mathematics of the same. It was not something like Alice in Wonderland. Well, from this brief conversation, we learn the solution to the more for less phenomenon. What is of value? What is of value and what is something that you cannot take away from? In other words, in the future, how can you render more legal service with less cost? The answer, of course, is technology. Technology. With big data, artificial intelligence, and predictive analytics, you can render legal service at a lower cost. That is the solution, more for less. Now, we'd like to proceed on the next problem. By the way, I asked the class, 1999 class, to give me your answer to this question. It's very interesting to the Chief Justice. What are the foremost factors that impede delivery of justice in the country today? And what is the solution? I will give you the answer later. in the future. You know, there are only two professions that bill by the hour, two of the ancient professions bill by the hour. One of them is the law. But in the future, billing by the hour will be replaced, for lawyers, will be replaced by billing for content that is licensed. This is working not necessarily harder, but differently. The lawyer of tomorrow will no longer do face-to-face consultation, according to Suskin. He will put his advice in a coded form and then license that coded advice, license its content to paying clients. Thus, he says, the lawyer of the future will earn even when he is sleeping. That is the beauty of licensing. In this law resource as service provided framework, law will be commoditized and will be available on demand at reasonable cost. Today's lawyers, my friend, Supreme Court members are here, the Chief Justice. Today's lawyers are chided if they use artificial intelligence when they make their pleadings and submissions to court. Tomorrow's lawyers will be chided if they do not use AI in their pleadings and submissions. Now, what really is at the core of the legal service that our profession renders? I submit that it is access to justice. Access to justice. That is why our Honorable Supreme Court, headed by our alumnus who's here, Chief Justice Alexander Cajon Esmundo, so fit to add to the lawyer's oath the word justice, as if it was not there. Because access to justice is the core of our mission. This is also why, to me, the best definition of a lawyer so far is that given by my grade schooler daughter, Rina, when I had to bring her to court because their classes were canceled and I had a hearing. So I told her, Iha, please sit down while your father will have a court hearing. But my hearing, I had to wait because another case was being called. And it was the case of Tony Navarrete, another Ateneo lawyer. And Tony Navarrete was presenting his case, and my daughter, the back, was listening. As it turned out, my case was postponed, so I turned to my daughter and said, Iha, let's go. And then she tells me, Papa, I now know what a lawyer is. And I was surprised, and I asked her, oh really? What is a lawyer? And from what St. Tony Navarrete, my grade school daughter said, Papa, a lawyer is someone who helps the judge find out what really happened. That is, to me, the best definition so far. Someone who helps the judge find out what really happened. That is access to justice in action. Of course, today, Rina is grown up. She is working in an information company. And she is the head of content development. Now, what about the court? As Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. said, law is a prediction according to Justice Holmes. And these are his exact words published in Harvard Law Review. The prophecies of what the courts will do, in fact, and nothing more pretentious, is what I mean by law. So law is a prediction of what the courts will do, in fact. Okay. As the need for dispute resolution, however, increases beyond the capacity of courts to resolve, AI is the solution. According to Richard Susskind, in what he calls outcomes thinking, the future of dispute resolution will feature the use of supercomputers. The supercomputers will be fed the facts of a case and a controversy, and the supercomputer will render a decision based on existing laws and jurisprudence. And the parties to the case agree in advance to accept as final the decision of the supercomputer. That is outcomes thinking and predictive analytics. That future is not very far ahead. This will therefore reduce, if not eliminate, the need for courts, but never, of course, the need for lawyers. Lawyers will always be needed in order to feed the problem to the computer. One of the 100 top 100 important persons in the world today is a woman named, I don't know if you have heard of her, Sagwen Chung. Sagwen Chung is an artist born in Canada, raised in China, residing in London. And what is so peculiar about Miss Chung? Miss Chung makes pieces of art together with her computers, together. The art, resulting art, is made by her and her computers. She feeds the computers hundreds, thousands of artwork, plus her brain waves. Her brain waves are digitized and fed into the computer. And the computer, acting on the model art plus her brain waves, joins her in making the artwork. I have 5 slides for you to see Sagwen Chung and her work. Honorary, please show Sagwen Chung. That's Justice Holmes. That's Sagwen Chung working. That's the computer in front of her. The robot. Together they are making a painting. There. Sagwen Chung's artwork made together with that's Sagwen Chung. That's her also. Product. Okay, this is another computer. This is Deep Blue. You remember Deep Blue was the one who defeated Garry Kasparov? For the first time in history, a computer beat a human chess player. It was a close fight, but Kasparov conceded that he was beaten by the IBM computer named Deep Blue. And that's the picture of Deep Blue. And tonight, I introduce to you the successor of Deep Blue. It's a computer named Blue Revelry. Palakpakan natin si Blue Revelry. Blue Revelry will be the oracle of the future. you can feed any legal question, whether of fact or of law or pure question of law. And Blue Revelry will answer faster than a court can answer. So that is the future of lawyering and the future of dispute resolution. Outcomes thinking and predictive analytics. But lest we forget, in our fascination with machines, lest we forget the important lesson of King Solomon. May I have King Solomon, please? That is King Solomon wearing the purple of a judicial robe, because he was not only king, he was the judge of his people. The story goes that one nice morning, King Solomon was walking, meditating in his beautiful gardens, and he heard a voice calling, "Solomon, Solomon!" And realizing that there was no one there, and sensing that it was a divine call, Solomon fell on his knees and said, "Yes, Lord, here I am." And then the voice continued, "Solomon, I am very pleased with you. And because I am very pleased with you, I'm going to give you anything that you wish." And Solomon was stunned and said, "Really, Lord? Anything?" And the Lord said, "Yes, Solomon, you heard me. Anything." So Solomon filed a bill of particulars. He said, "Lord, so I can ask more money, I can ask more money, more riches, more power, and even more women, Lord?" And the Lord said, "Oh, Solomon, you are so rich already, you are so powerful already, not to mention your many women. But if that is what you ask, as I said, because I'm so pleased with you, I'll give you." And Solomon resorted to the favorite trick of a lawyer when he is in a tight situation. He asked for a motion for postponement. He said, "Lord, can I give you my answer tomorrow?" The Lord granted the motion. So next morning, in the same gardens, the conversation goes. The Lord, "Oh, Solomon, have you decided what to ask for?" And Solomon says, "Yes, Lord, I have." The Lord said, "What is it?" And Solomon said, and this, from here on, it is accurate quotation from the Jerusalem Bible. From here on, because I have revised the story a little, but here this is word for word. It says, "I would like to ask a listening heart, so that with that I could properly judge my people." He asked for a listening heart. And the Lord was delighted, and the Lord said, "Solomon, because you did not ask, and you did not ask for a long life for yourself, or riches, or death for your enemy." It seems to be a favorite request of in those times, death of your enemy. You didn't ask that, but you asked for a listening heart. Now and right now, here and right here, the Lord said, "I give you what you ask, a listening heart." And the Lord said, "A heart so shrewd and so wise that no one before and no one after will have a heart like this." That is what the Lord did. Not only that, and you can check 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 5 to 15. The Lord added, "And Solomon, what you did not ask, I will give you. Lord, I'll give you riches. Hindi sinabing women, ha? I'll give you riches and a long life, provided you follow my commandments as your father King David did. Now, my friends, no computer so far is sentient. Sentient, meaning it has feelings. Somebody claimed recently that he has invented a sentient computer, but it was a false claim. Maybe, they say, by year 2050, we will see a sentient computer. By the year 2050, the singularity will happen. What is singularity? Singularity is the time when one computer will have more capacity than all humanity combined. One computer. That is singularity. That is expected in 2050 because of Moore's law. You are lawyers. Do you know Moore's law? Moore's law is a law in computer science that the capacity of computers doubles every year or every 2 years. And because of this doubling of the capacity, by year 2050, it will reach singularity. But as I said, until then, no computer can have a listening heart. Only human beings like you and myself will have the capacity to render judgment and make decisions based on a listening heart. But, as Vilma Santos said, you can never can tell. Thank you.